Hi, everybody. This is Dino Chris from Prehistoric Facts, and this is extra episode number 63. And this time, this is not going to be a PowerPoint presentation. This is me in front of the camera because I got a book to review for you. And this book it came out in June, and it's by author Steve Brusatte and a very well-known paleontologist, Dr. Steve Brusatte. And the book is called The Rise and Reign of Mammals. And so this book has been out for a couple of months already, and I got a really good look through of this. I read it. It's a very good book, and so what I'm going to do for you is actually go through the types of chapters that are in here and tell you what this book kind of entails in terms of each chapters. And so this book also does have like a timeline of mammals early on, so you kind of get to see where like some of the earliest mammals started and where the first synapsids and all that sorts of stuff. And then you also have a family tree of mammals. So you start off with the synapsids and you get towards the mammal-like reptile type of animals, and then you get to the therapsids, the cynodonts, and then you get to true mammals that start off, and then you actually see different types of mammals, and especially the types of mammals that are around today. And so you get like your shrews, your mice, weasels, marsupials, and of course like bats, horses, odd-toed mammals, and even like even-toed mammals, and you get whales, and of course canines, cats, and then you actually have primates. And so that's the group that we belong to, is the primates. And so yeah, you actually get like also the times of Earth. So like times of Earth that you actually get to see here. This is way before the chapters even begin. And so in the maps you get like 320 million years ago in the Carboniferous. You get 200 million years of the Triassic-Jurassic boundary. You get 66 million years ago, so that's basically the end of the end Cretaceous, end of the Cretaceous. You get 50 million years ago, which was the Eocene epoch. You get 20 million years ago, which is the Miocene. And you get 21,000 years ago, which was the last advance of the Ice Age. And so, yeah, you actually get all those types of maps, and you get an introduction to the Mammalian family, told by Steve Brusatte. And so the first chapter is mammal ancestors. So this kind of starts out with like the mammal-like reptiles, or the synapsids and the therapsids. So you actually get that kind of talk through it. Dimetrodon is mentioned in there. Making a mammal, that is pretty much where you get to see like the therapsids start to advance and get to become more like cynodonts. And these are mammal-like reptiles that almost look like mammals. And so you get like, sometimes you get a little bit talking about the Gorgonopsians, and also you get the true the actual cynodonts, the animals that actually started out having fur. But even though the Gorgonopsians probably did have fur, that's probably, and all that. And then the third chapter is mammals and dinosaurs. So this is where some of the true mammals start to evolve, start to appear in the timeline, or in the Mesozoic. So this is right around the Triassic-Jurassic boundary. It's around 200 million years ago. And so you get to talk about like what mammals really did, what mammals really were in the time of the dinosaurs. In the time of the dinosaurs, mammals were just kind of the bottom dwellers of the food chain a little bit. They were small. Not a lot of them were really big, and you get like animals that almost look like shrews, weasels, somewhat like mice, and all that. And the marsupials start to come around in the Cretaceous period. And then you have the Mammalian Revolution, and this takes place during the Cretaceous period. And so the Cretaceous period is where you start to see different types of mammals start to diversify into different types of categories. And some mammals start to get a little bit bigger. Some of them actually got to be the size of a medium-sized dog, or otherwise maybe like a domestic pig. And so that is actually a pretty good size range right there. But they still stayed small compared to the other types of dinosaurs. but they were in competition with the dinosaurs. This is when mammals were really competing with dinosaurs to be where they could be in the food chain. But then the fifth chapter is dinosaurs die, mammals survive. So takes place after the KPG extinction, and so mammals were one of the survivors of the Cretaceous period, Cretaceous extinction, end of the Cretaceous extinction, and so they kind of still started out small, but at least a few million years, you actually start to see them growing a little bit more. So they start to get a little bit larger. They didn't get like huge, but they actually did get a little bit bigger. And then you get to the sixth chapter is mammals modernized, and so this is where mammals really start to evolve and start get to becoming more like mammals that we can recognize to this day. So like you get to like some of the dogs, some of the horses, camels, rhinos, early elephants, those types of creatures, early carnivores like cats, dogs, those sorts of things. You get the creodonts, which are the early carnivorous mammals in the Cenozoic. And so, yeah, you actually have those types of mammals. Then you get to extreme mammals, which is chapter 7. So this is when mammals really got bigger, and they start to really start to challenge what dinosaurs really did in terms of size, and even some of the marine reptiles too. So like some of the early whales, like Basilosaurus, you actually get to see whales getting bigger. And you get to see like an elephant type of creatures getting bigger. You start to see rhino-like creatures getting bigger. And you have all these different types of mammals getting bigger. And then the 8th chapter is mammals and changing climates. So this talks about how mammals adapted to different types of climates, and how the changes in climate have actually come around during the Cenozoic, like the cooling periods of the continuing cooling during the Cenozoic, and you actually start to see like how mammals adapted to like extreme heat, how they actually adapted to like temperate climates, subtropical climates, tropical climates, those types of climates that mammals can actually adapt to, and even grasslands. But grass was going to be the big key here. Grass is going to be the big key in terms of the climate changing during the Cenozoic, because grass really dominated in the Cenozoic, started to dominate in the Cenozoic. Then the 9th chapter, you get the Ice Age mammals. So you start talking about like mammoths, mastodons, giant ground sloths, early big horses, big camels. You get some like the giant armadillos. You get like the saber-toothed cats. You get the gigantic cave bears or short-faced bears. Really big cats too, and you get big canines too. And so you get like all different types of mammals during the Ice Age, which is called the megafauna. And so the megafauna is really talked about here in the Ice Age, how mammals really adapted to cooling climate, and also what became of the end of that type of megafauna. And so, yeah, and even like some of the mammals that we see today were around during the Ice Age. So like certain types of cats, wolves, even like camels, deer, those sorts of things. And then the 10th chapter, this is the final chapter, it is human mammals. And so these are going to be talking about the hominids, so the type that we are. And so that is what is talked about in the 10th chapter. So you get to the start of like the early primates that started out like in around the time of the Cretaceous. So you get like the shrew-like mammals that were living in the trees, and then you get to the like early primates of like, say, that almost look like lemurs or bush babies. And so that's where you get that type of mammals. And then you get to right around the Eocene is where you start to see some of the first monkeys. And then around the Oligocene, that's where you start to see some of the first apes. And the apes continued on until you start to reach around, say, the Pliocene. That's where you start to see some of the first upright walking ancestors of ours, the Australopithecines. And so those are the types of that's the type of primate that is really going to be the main is going to be the main thing that's going to start to happen in terms of human evolution. And then you start to see how hominids diversified in terms of like how they adapted to changing climates, and also what types of areas that they actually conquered, and how humans ultimately did migrate everywhere on the planet Earth. So pretty much like from Africa to the Middle East to the Asia, Europe, Australia, North America, and Central America and South America. And that's how you start to see the great migration, the great human migration. And so that's how that really comes to be. And so the epilogue is future of mammals. So this will talk about like what could happen in the future for certain types of mammals. So like the cats, dogs, some of the carnivores, whales, other herbivores, omnivores, that sorts of thing. And also how climate change is really starting to affect certain types of mammals today. And that's how it's actually going to be. And of course you get your notes, acknowledgments in this book. So because this is very, very scientifically based. And so if you're a person that wants to learn about like mammals or a fan of mammals, and you actually want to read how mammals evolved and how they actually came to be, and like learning different types of mammals and how they adapted, and also that sorts of thing, this is the book for you. And this book is very, very good. I highly recommend it. This is a very good book. Steve Brusatte has done it again. And if you have not checked out the first book that he's done, this is considered the sequel to his other book, The Rise and Fall of the Dinosaurs. If you haven't gotten that book yet, please do check that book out, because that is really, really good knowledge about like some of the early reptiles that would ultimately become dinosaurs and how dinosaurs evolved, and you get different types of dinosaurs and all that sorts of stuff. So this is the sequel to Rise and Fall of Dinosaurs, but this is more likely going to be the reign of mammals instead of fall, because mammals haven't fallen yet. So yeah, and this is the cover. There's also like a paper cover too, if you want to get the paper cover. This is a hardcover, so if you want to get the hardcover, please do so. I like hardcovers because they last a little bit longer than the paperback ones, and so, or the paper cover ones. So yeah, feel free to and please get this book. Very, very well done. Steve Brusatte, you've done it again. This is amazing. Amazing book. And so yeah, feel free to check out this book. Now, this coming Saturday, so it will be the 20th of August, 2022, we'll be doing another extra episode, and that'll be extra episode number 64. And that would be the rebuttal paper on Tyrannosaurus being 3 subspecies. So if you haven't checked that video out of my thoughts of that paper of the Tyrannosaurus being 3 subspecies, feel free to check it out in the extra episodes section of the YouTube channel. Feel free to find that, and you can actually take a look at that and my thoughts about that. So this time it's going to be my thoughts on the rebuttal. And so that will be on this coming Saturday. So hopefully you guys can check that out. So next week, Thursday, though, that would be the 25th. It'll be a Q&A episode. And so if you got any questions about dinosaurs or any other prehistoric life, feel free to email me at dinocris71@gmail.com, or just go on my Facebook page, Prehistoric Facts of Dinocris. Like the page, you can just actually post your questions in the comment section. Please post them in the comment section. Don't put them on messages for private conversations. So please put your questions in the comment section. And the YouTubers out there, according to my analytics, a lot of you guys are checking out my channel and not subscribed yet. So feel free to subscribe to the channel, hit that like button. It helps out the algorithm, and also share the video, share the channel to anybody that is interested in dinosaurs and other prehistoric life. To help out the algorithm as well. And you can also stop on that notification bell so that you get weekly notifications of every single video that comes out. And so this is a rarity right here to do 2 episodes in 1 week. And so yeah, And so feel free to do that. And also, your YouTubers out there, feel free to leave your questions in the comment section, because your questions do mean a lot in the Q&A episodes. And you guys are awesome at giving out some pretty good questions. You guys are great at that. And you make sure you keep your questions short and to the point. You can also follow me on Instagram at dino.chris.pf. I post pretty cool stuff on there. You can also follow me on Twitter at CSTRALL. It's my Twitter page. I post pretty cool stuff on there as well. Take care of the people around you. Know for you younger people out there, to make sure to listen to your parents, your teachers, and your guardians. It's the best motivation you could have. A good education. It's very important to have a good education. With a good education, you get a good job in the future. And the school year's coming up, so make sure you guys listen to your teachers, and also listen to your parents, to know that your parents are going to be telling you, please do your homework and study hard, so that way you can get really good grades, because that is the most important thing. Get some good grades in the classes that you got this coming year, for this coming school year. And that's it for now, and I'll see you guys this coming Saturday.